Okay, so am I audible now? Okay, okay, thank you. So we'll get started with the session. So welcome everybody for the first session on computational thinking. So all those faculty members who are undergoing training, you'll need to create login IDs in the Enhanced CDU portal. So I mean, like, we have actually sent a mail to your mail ID. So we have sent you a mail yesterday. So in case you haven't received, you please give us your email IDs. You type it in the chat window. So we'll send you a mail regarding the process and how to create IDs in the portal. So if anybody of you hasn't got the mail, please type your email ID in the chat window. Okay, the roll number is not a mandatory field. So there's no need for you to enter the roll number now. We'll assign the roll number and send it to you. Sure. So our team will send you mails. So if anybody of you hasn't got the mail, please give your mail ID over here. Okay. So before we start, uh, I hope all of you have installed Raptor on your system, and all of you are working on a Windows operating system machine. And before you install Raptor, please ensure that you have .NET framework installed. So any college who hasn't installed Raptor? So okay. So is this S for not installing, or have you installed Raptor? And I also hope all of you are sitting in a lab. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So all of you, I am assuming that yes. Okay, okay, very good, very good. Okay. So all of you are sitting in a lab, I suppose. So all the students or faculty members have a system in front of them, and they're able to run Raptor, right? Okay. So we'll get started. Okay. So we'll get started. So let me just give you a brief overview of this workshop and training program, how it is going to be conducted. So in a day-long session, we have 4 sessions, each of 1.5 hour duration. So we are supposed to start at 9:30 in the morning, and the first session goes till 11 a.m. After which we'll have a tea break for 15 minutes, and again the session goes on till 12:45. So after which we'll have a break for an hour for lunch, and again we will reassemble by 1:45, and the session will continue till uh, 3:15. From 3:30 till 5 we'll have the final session. So there'll be 4 sessions, and in each session there'll be hands-on work that you'll need to do. So there'll be a lecture part, and also there'll be a hands-on part. So wherein you'll actually work on Raptor, and there'll be some problems that you'll be solving. And all the faculty members who are undergoing the training need to submit their tasks on the portal. So we'll put up all the upload links on the portal. So you'll need to submit the tasks that you have done on the portal. And there's no need for students to submit. We'll be only taking uploads from the faculty members. So for students who are undergoing, there's no need for you to submit the task. So after the training, after CT is for 2 days, so after the training, there'll be an assessment that you'll need to take. So the assessment needs to be taken before the next week. So it's important that you complete the tasks before you take the assessment. So I hope this is clear, and we'll anyway send you a mail regarding the full process and all. So this is just to give you an overview. So if we'll be doing the session now, and Since all of you have installed Raptor, we'll just get started. So the learning objectives of this session is, by the end of this session, you would have read input and displayed output in Raptor, and you'll also have learned some good programming principles. So we'll give you a basic overview of how to how to comment your code, how to give a good user input and display messages and all. So all these good programming principles will introduce you to some of them. So the prerequisites for this, for undergoing this course is, there are only two prerequisites. One is the enthusiasm to learn. The other is the patience to sit through the next 1.5 hours. So as our sessions was, as this session was supposed to start at 9:30, we'll keep this session very short. Maybe, I mean, like, say 1 hour or so. So we can do that. So I hope all of you have registered on the portal. All of you have login IDs on portal. If not, it's better you first do that before we start this session. If you want, we can wait for. Okay, yeah. So please do the registrations. If you want, we can wait for 15 minutes for all of you. And okay. So I see that some colleges haven't done the registrations yet. So please do the registrations on the portal, and we can get started in another 15 minutes then. Ma'am, I mean, like, can you just try now, because we have removed the roll number field, so it isn't mandatory now for us to enter the roll number. And all of you, please remember that you'll need to select TTP8. So I'm just typing it in the chat window. Please select TTP8 as your college name. So all of you, please start your enrollments, registrations on the portal. So in case you've not aware of the portal link, I'm just typing in the portal link. Mm. Mm. No, it's not an issue if you haven't received the mail. You can just go to enhanceedu.iit.ac.in/portal. That's the link I have actually typed in the chat window. Just go over there, and you'll need to say create new account. So I'll just show you how it is done. It needs to be done. So I'm sharing my desktop. So all of you can see, I'll open the browser so you can actually see how it's done. You need to type in enhance. So this is the link that you'll need to open. So click on login. Once you click on login, you can see this window, create new account. So you'll need to click on this link, create new account, and you'll need to fill in this. So as you can see, roll number is not mandatory. So there's no need for you to enter the roll number. But the college name, you'll need to type in teacher training program. So the last in the list, that's teacher training program. So all the faculty members need to click on this teacher training program and enter the other details. So once that is done, you'll get a mail and you'll need to click on that link for your account to be activated. So please uh, do this registrations, and we'll be here. If you have any issues regarding the registrations, you can just let us know. We'll fix them. Oh, okay, the link is enhanceedu.iit. I've actually typed it in the chat window. So I'm just typing it, enhanceedu.iit.ac.in/portal. So it's there in the chat window. I've highlighted that as well. I can, if you want, I can increase the size. So this is the link. So this is the link you'll need to click. I'm increasing the font size for it to be visible. So this is the link, enhanceedu.iit.ac.in/portal. This one. Yes, if you already have an account, there's no need for you to create an account. You can actually use that. But for all the new faculty members, you'll need to create a new account. Click on create new account. Please don't enter any roll number. Roll number field is not mandatory. There's no need for you to enter a value for roll number. Mick College, can you hand raise? No, not that hand raise. I wanted you to press the hand raise on A view. Yeah, can you tell me are you facing any issue?
Yes, sir.
We
When the roll
can't
number
hear
is
you.
blank, it is saying, even if the roll number is blank, it is saying it is already been used.
Okay, give us a minute. We'll just get this fixed. Okay, do all of you just do one thing. Press Control and F5 on your browser to refresh the uh, browser. So it's Control plus F5. So if you just press this button on your browser, it should work. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll fix this in the afternoon. So we'll get ahead with the session. Yeah, I think there's some issue. So we'll get ahead with the session. I'll do one thing. Admin coordinators, can you just? I'll give you the number of our tools team, so you can actually talk to them and get the thing fixed. In the meantime, we can get ahead with the session. We'll start the session. So I'll just give you the number of our tools team. You can contact Mr. Vamshi. He'll be there to help you. So this is his number. You can just give him a call and tell him your problem. He'll be able to assist you. So we'll get ahead with the session. So for this session, you'll just need to have Raptor installed on your machine. The portal IDs you'll require only while you're uploading. So we can actually do that during the lunch time. Normally usually takes 5 to 10 minutes to create an account. So it would be better if we just do this in the lunch. So okay, we'll move ahead. So computational thinking is a term that was introduced by Dr. Gina Twing from CMU, Carnegie Mellon University, Pittsburgh, USA. So there's a link given in the PPT. You can actually go through that. So it's a very good write-up about what computational thinking is and how it will be useful. So just to give you a brief overview of what computational thinking is, it actually represents a universally applicable attitude and skill set everyone, not just computer scientists, would be eager to learn and use. So if you actually read this again, it means that it's actually applicable to everybody, not just computer engineers or computer scientists. Computational thinking is applicable to anybody. It's a universally applicable attitude and skill set. So I mean, like people who are from the electronics side or people from electrical engineering side. So I mean, like, don't think that this is only for computer scientists or computer engineers or computer students. Think of it like it's kind of a universally accepted attitude thing, and it should be actually inculcated in everybody of us, every one of us. So, and why are we teaching computational thinking? So, so to start with, computational thinking actually gives you a brief overview of how to actually design your programs and how the flow goes in the program. And to actually make it easier, we've introduced a software called Raptor. So we've introduced a software called Raptor. So Raptor is a tool. It was actually designed by Mr. Martin Carlyle. He works with the US Defense Academy, and you can actually see the link. If you actually go to this link, raptor.martincarlyle.com, you can find a lot of resources about Raptor and how it can be used in actually teaching programming for students. So it's a free tool, free to use, and all the features work only on Windows operating system. So we are using the latest version of Raptor. So we are using the 2012 version. So I hope all of you have installed the same version. So our Raptor, I mean, like, a download version is available on this site. So you can actually go to this site and download the version Raptor and work on that. So coming back to what Raptor is, so Raptor is a flowchart tool which you can actually use to implement programs. So Raptor doesn't have any complex syntax, so it's free from syntax, and there's no, I mean, like, not much of code or syntax that you'll need to remember. So it's very easy to use, and even a person who wants to start with programming, it's very easy for them to actually use and work with Raptor. Why are we learning Raptor? And I mean, like, this point might be useful, I mean, like, interesting to students. We've conducted some research and found that TCS and Infosys actually use Raptor in their faculty training programs. I mean, like, the new entries or entry level training programs, they actually use Raptor to teach you how to program. So if you've already undergone this course, you'll actually be well ahead of your people who are in the batch. So it's kind of a very interesting point that we realized about Raptor. And how will it be useful to you? Why are we teaching Raptor to you, to the faculty members? So you can actually teach your students to use Raptor, maybe say in the first year, when they actually are introduced to programming. You can actually show them how programs are run in Raptor. There are a lot of features that I will actually introduce you to, and you can actually show them how programs run, how variables are incremented or initialized, and how their values change. So it's a fun way of learning programming, and it's also easy. And moving on. So now enough of what Raptor is and all. So enough of I mean, like, there's a lot of content on Raptor that is there in the portal. You can actually access that, read through that, and learn more about Raptor. Because this is mostly of a hands-on session. We'll actually not get more into the details. We'll get started and do some programs. So since all of you have Raptor installed on your machines, if you just go to open Raptor on your system, you can see this window. So I'll just open Raptor on my system. Yeah. So when you open Raptor, you can actually see this screen. I'll increase the font. So you can actually see this full window. There are two windows that are open. One is the Raptor window. The other is something called as Master Console. So this is where you will actually see the output of your program. Once you run your program, you'll see the output in this master console. Okay. So and this window or this Raptor window is where you actually write your programs, or you draw the flowchart of that program. And this window, if you see over here, this small window over here, this is where you actually see the variables that are used in your program, and the values that are initialized or assigned to these variables. So you can actually see them over here. And if you see over here, this is the symbols, all the symbols that are available. So if you can actually see any program in Raptor, it has a start and it has an end. So it means it's a directed graph. So there's an arrow. If you can see over here, I'll increase the font size. So you can actually see an arrow, right? So it's a directed graph, which means that there's a flow attached to any flow chart. So it actually the program starts at the start statement and it ends at the end statement. It's pretty straightforward. So I mean, like, it starts and it ends. So every program needs to end. We'll also see some exceptions where there are some programs that don't end when we touch upon loops and conditions. So let's do one thing. So okay, so this is about the basic window or the environment of Raptor. We'll just look at some of the menu tab over here that is there. So I'll just click on File. So we have all these basic functions like new, open, save as. Most important is compile. How do you run your code after how do you compile your code? I mean, like, you just click on this compile button and your code is compiled. Okay, and over here you can actually see the list of programs that you have opened or saved. So all the recent ones will be available over here. Okay, so you can also print your code or flowchart, and you can also print it to clipboard, and from there you can actually copy it to somewhere. I mean, like in a Word doc or in a MS Paint or anywhere you want. So all these are there. So let's look at something some important steps. After you write your program, you can actually run it in different modes. Like you can actually run your program in a step fashion. I mean, like, each step by step, or you can actually run the whole compiled code. That means after you compile, you can actually run it directly. So it doesn't go step by step, but it actually gives you the final output. So you can there are two modes. So you can actually run it step by step. We'll actually get into this in more detail when we do the programs. But the most important thing that I want to emphasize over here is about the help. So you can see help over here. So there's a general help. If you click on this general help, you can see a lot of contents over here. So there are like a lot of topics. You can learn about what is Raptor. So I mean, like, there's a lot of content that is available over here. So I recommend all of you to actually go through this content, because most of these concepts we won't be covering in the workshop. It is for you to explore these concepts and work on the tasks and problem sets. So there's one more thing to note. When this help is opened, you can't work on Raptor. I mean, like you can't create a program or some. You can't write a flow chart. So you'll need to close this window and then you can work in Raptor. So that is the other one more. So next, there are some buttons over here. You can actually execute to completion. So this is like a step-by-step mode. So it runs every step and you can run the program. So you can actually see it starts and it ends and the output is given over here. Run complete, 2 symbols evaluated. So Raptor considers every symbol and it also shows how many symbols have been evaluated. So if you can see, start and end are 2 symbols and they have been evaluated. Since we are doing nothing over here in this program, it just evaluates these 2 and there's no output. Okay. So coming back to our presentation. So we'll start with a very simple example of adding 2 numbers. So we'll see how to add 2 numbers in Raptor. So coming back to Raptor. So what over here? So what's the problem statement that we need to add 2 numbers? So when we need to add 2 numbers, what is the input that we need to take? We need to take 2 numbers, right? And the output should be the addition or the sum of these 2 numbers. So we'll start our program. To start a program, we'll just need to drag and drop the symbols over here. So since we need to add 2 numbers, what I'll do is I'll take the assignment symbol and drag and drop it over here. So before I start my program, I'll need to save it. So the Raptor environment asks me to save my program. So I'll save my program. I'll save it in place where I can extract it later. I'll say okay. So I've saved the program. I've saved it as session 1 example 1. So I've now the assignment symbol is over here. Okay. So now I'll what I'll do is I'll assign a value. So I'll say I'll take some number. I'll say I. So what I'll do is I'll consider 2 inputs as I and J, and the output would be K. So K is I plus J. So I'll actually do it over here in the notepad. So what I'll say is input is 2 numbers, right? So let these 2 numbers be I and J. So what is the output? Output is sum of I and J. So let us call this as K. So output is K. So what is the operations we need to do? The operation K equal to I plus J. So this is the operation that we'll need to do. So now since we have got an understanding of what the program is and what we need to do, let's implement this in Raptor. So what I'll do is I'll just take the input. So I'll say set I equal to 10. So I'm considering I as 10. And the second input is nothing but J. So I'll drag and drop this over here. I'll say J equal to 20. So I'm adding 2 numbers. So now there are 2 numbers. One is in I, the other is in J. So if you can see over here, what is I? I is nothing but a container. So I is a container that stores a value 10. So this container has a special term in Raptor called variable. So I and J are nothing but variables over here. So and variables in Raptor, they either store numbers or they can either store strings. So I mean, like it's pretty easy. Like there are no 10 different types of variables or data types. There are only 2 data types. One is number or one is string. So now what we'll do is we'll assign another variable. We'll call it k. So k is nothing but I plus j, right? So I'm doing this. So now what? So now I've done the program. I've assigned value of 10 to I, value of 20 to j, and I'm adding this over here. So I'll run my program. So just I'll click on this execute. So you can see over here I is 10, j is 20, and k is 30. But you can see over here that nothing is being printed, right? No display. So what should be done? So if you can see over here, there's a symbol called output. You just click on this and drag it over here and say, we'll just say we'll display k. So because k needs to be displayed, I'll just say enter output here k. So this is done. I'll run my code again. I is 10, j is 20, k is 30. Now we can see 30, right? So now our program is done. Okay. So we've added two numbers and we also displayed the value of 30. So now let's say we give this we give this flowchart to somebody else and we ask them to run this. So will they be able to understand? I mean, like this is a very simple it's a straightforward program, so they'll be able to understand. But let's say you are working on something very complex, a very complex program, and you give like this to the user or to your customer. Will they be able to understand what you have done or what you are trying to do? So there are some programming principles that will introduce you to. The most important thing is you should always take input from the user. I mean, like you'll need to read the input from the user. So for that, we'll actually take an input symbol and put it over here. So instead of assigning the values ourselves, we are reading the input from the user. So there needs to be a prompt over here. So what we'll do is we'll ask the user to enter the first number. Okay. So we'll enter the first number and variable name. The variable name should be very easy to understand for the user. Let's say we are over here we are saying I and j. So user might not be able to understand what I and j are. So instead if we say something like meaningful name, let's say number 1. So we can say enter the first number and we are storing it in number 1. So this is easy to understand for the user. So the user will be prompted, okay, enter a number and that will be stored in number 1. Okay, so we'll remove this line of code and we'll read another input because we need to read two numbers. So what, it's simple. I'll just say enter second number and over here I'll say number 2. Okay, so the second number is also enter. So I'll remove this. So now what? K is equal to I plus j. So I'll need to just change this statement. So I'll double click on this and say, because we are storing the sum. So I'll say sum. Sum is the variable name. Just hold on. So VNR, are you able to see now the Raptor? Uh, VNR, VNR. Okay. So okay. Okay. Just hold on. We'll ask a technical team to get back to you. So just hold on. In the meanwhile, we'll continue with the session. Yeah. So coming back to our session. So over here we are assigning a variable, say sum, and to this we'll say sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2. Okay, because this is the sum of the first number and the second number. So this should be done, and in the output we'll just say sum. Okay, this is also done. So now let's run our program again. So over here you can see there's a prompt that the user gets, enter the first number. So over here I can say 10, and it's asking enter the second number. So over here I'll say 20, and now you can see sum is number 1 plus number 2, and it's being displayed 30. But does the user know what 30 is? He might not know, right? He might think it's I mean, like he'll assume that it is 10 plus 20. So there's something more that we'll need to do. We'll just tweak this little further. So what again over here we'll need to display a prompt, something like this. You can see this number of coins and coins, so that it's easy for the user to understand, okay, what we are saying and what we are doing. So what I'll do is I'll say the sum of two numbers is, and over here I'll just put it in double quotes and say sum. Always remember that if you are displaying any prompt to the user or any message, that should be in double quotes followed by plus and the variable plus sum. Okay, so I'll just say done, and now I'll run my code again. So it's asking 10, I'll enter 10. It's asking for the second number 20. And now over here you can see the sum of two numbers is 30. So now our code is somewhat readable, and the user can understand. There's one more thing that will introduce you to, something called as comments. So what are comments? Comments are nothing but some statements that you put into your code for the user or any outside person to understand what you have done. So we've actually done most of the things, like we've given some prompts and all, but we'll also look at what comments are and how to use them. So before you insert a comment, you'll need to right click on any statement or any symbol. You right click on this and you say comment. So you just click on comment. So you can see a green dialog box, or what do you say, some green symbol over here, right? So this is nothing but a comment. So Raptor uses these comments to actually tell the other users or outside people what this program does, or this statement does. So over here we can just type in this statement reads a number, and I'll say done. So you can see over here. So if you are an outside person, you will actually understand, okay, what does this statement do? This statement reads a number. Okay, so I can so the second statement also does the same. So what I can do is I'll right click on this, I'll say copy. I'll copy this comment, click over here and say, sorry, I'll say you can't paste this comment, I suppose. So copy, I will do here comment. Again I'll need to type. So this statement reads another number. So I mean, like in the beginning it might sound very difficult to write comments, or it might be very tiresome to write programs comments, but it's actually a very good practice to do this, because your programs will actually be very much respected, because you are ensuring that other person is able to work on your understand your program. And mostly what happens in industry is you don't usually work on adding numbers or subtracting numbers. You actually work on very large programs, right? running into millions of lines of code or million lines of code. So whenever you write a comment or you have a very good prompt, it's easy for the other your programmers. You actually work in a team, so it's easy for your team members to understand. Okay, what this guy has written, I mean, like he or she has written. So this is actually very good practice. You might find it very tiresome and boring to write comments, but it's a good practice to inculcate in yourself. So over here again we'll write the comment. So this actually is this adds the two numbers. So it's done. And whenever you're writing a comment, don't write a comment for the sake of it. Make sure that it actually gives some meaningful message. So also you'll need to take care of your grammar and spelling mistakes. So make sure that it is done. So now we'll save our code, and we've seen how to run our program in stepwise fashion, right? So it's running stepwise. So the first statement is being run. So I'll say 20. 30, all that. So it's, if you can see, it's actually taking a lot of time. It's going through each statement and running each statement, right? So there's one more simple step. You can actually click on Control and F5. Control F5 to run your code completely. So what that does is it actually first compiles your code and then runs it. So 20, and so you can see the change over here, right? It's only at start. It's not running. It's not going to each step. Just run this and it displays the message. So this actually works when you're uh, running very large programs or very big programs. So for small programs, you can go for any of the either of these. So you can actually run it in stepwise, or you can run it in the Control F5 or this mode, run compiled. It's nothing but run compiled, Control F5. Okay. So now I hope you've got an understanding of how to assign values to variables, how to read input from user, and how to display output as well. So I hope all this is clear. Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. So can I have a, I mean, like, has is this all these concepts clear with all the colleges?
Sir.
Like, if it's clear, just type in S. Okay, okay. Sure. Okay. So we'll move ahead. So once these topics are clear, so you can actually try these problems. So there are some four tasks. You can take 20 minutes and do these. We'll need to read two numbers from the user and do the following operations: product of the numbers, square roots of the numbers, reminder when the first number is divided by the second, and maximum of the two numbers. So you'll need to work out these four tasks, and you will have 20 minutes. Because this is the first session, you can take up to 30 minutes and do these tasks. And please refer to the help in Raptor, because you will find some of the functions already available. So you can actually explore that on your, we encourage you to explore the help option over here. So you can actually go to general help and explore these concepts, I mean, like, these contents. So there are some programming concepts using Raptor tutorial, math in Raptor, so go, I mean, like, we've also given you a hint like which concept you'll need to cover now, because you can see over here in the, you'll need to do something related to math. So if you explore this math in Raptor, you might get answers to these tasks. So please take half an hour time and work on these tasks. We'll be here. If you have any issues or any doubts, we'll be there to help you. Terus itu kata function ఎలా జరిగినా ఎస్టీఆర్టీ అంటే ఫంక్షన్ మనం మెజర్మెంట్ తీసుకుంటాం కదా ఎస్టీఆర్టీ ఎట్లా So MIC college you have a question? MIC college? Okay, okay, thanks. Uh, Please note that you'll just need to use some mathematical functions to do this program. There's no need for you to uh, I mean like just use mathematical functions that are available to work on these programs. No need to do the calculations yourself. There are some mathematical functions available. If you are done, let us know. We can continue. Vamsi and register on the portal. So we can save time. If you are already there on the portal, if you can register yourself. If you are facing any issues, please contact Vamshi. I've provided the number in the chat. So this is again for your reference. Yes, yes, yes. Please. Yes, yes, yes.